What is up, everybody? Today is going to be the first of probably many of my Dark Souls playthrough. And I've kind of gone back and forth on this. Like, I was thinking, I'll just start with New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus or whatever I'm on. And that will, cut out a lot of the boring parts of the game. I like farming for items or whatever, and I've kind of gone back and forth. Maybe I'll just start a new game and edit that out, or just leave it in and talk randomly over it. Because my guess is that whoever's watching this isn't going to be watching it for my awesome Dark Souls skills, because those aren't going to be shown because they're non-existent. But I would assume that people are just going to be watching this and listening to me ramble about games and stuff like I normally do, except in a longer, more free-form format, I guess, with Dark Souls. So a lot of my rambling, of course, will be Dark Souls related, but I might go off on tangents, which, is to be expected. So, yeah, I've decided I'm going to just go with a regular old, normal, new character. So, hopefully that works out okay. But, so what we're going to do today is create a character. And you'll see, the game is in Japanese. I'm playing the Artorias of the Abyss edition, which is the Japanese exclusive, which isn't, it's just the name is exclusive, really, because it's the same as the Prepare to Die edition, which was released in Europe, and same as buying the game with the DLC for, I guess, North America, which didn't get a physical release. But this one came with a book and a soundtrack, so I picked it up. And, yeah. So we're going to start our character, and I'm going to play as a sorcerer, because that's my favorite playstyle. Sorcerer. So we're going to do an intelligence build, sorcerer, and, yeah, we're going to name him Prospero, because, when I think of Dark Souls, I just think of, exiled people for some reason. I don't know why. So, I have a kind of naming scheme going on with my characters. So I've had, kind of exiles as their names. So, of course, Prospero is the exiled wizard from The Tempest. So, we're gonna go with Prospero. And he will be a male and a wizard. Or sorcerer, I guess. The Japanese there is Majutsushi. So, yeah, wizard. And we're gonna go with, of course, the key as my gift, I guess. The key is really the best gift. I don't... I picked the keys so much that I don't even remember the locations of the other keys in the game, which would make the game really boring for you guys to watch, because I'd be running around searching for keys that I don't know where they are. But we're gonna go with Totemo Yasegata, which is very thin. And, let's see... Okay, this is my favorite face. He looks so happy. But... he looks so happy considering the amount he's gonna be dying really soon. But, yeah. What color hair? Silver? We're gonna actually, change the color of him, but, no. Here. Okay, so my favorite thing about this one is that you can change the color to be really blue. And really happy. I forgot, how do I make him extra blue? Okay. So you see. It's funny because, like, the, apparently the more feminine you get, the bluer you get. Who knew? But I like the... Looks kind of like a crazed Joker there. That's good. So... yeah. Alright. So he's just kind of blue. Blue and blue looking. So there we go. That will be our character. We probably won't see it. We'll see his goofy head most of the time, but not his body, which is... I should show you guys the, when you turn the character blue this way, I'll skip the beginning intro, even though it's totally necessary to watch. It's not really, but it's interesting. You get a really good idea of the kind of feel of the world, and you know, for people who think that this game is lacking in lore,
yes, indeed.
You know, it's there all over the place. Actually, you just have to pay attention and look for it. It's not spoon-fed to you, which is one of the many good things about this game. And one of the things that make me want to play it over and over again, and make other people want to play it over again, and make a big community about the game. People are talking about the game because of that. So,
where they are locked away.
It's pretty interesting. We will watch this beginning part. This beginning part, not the long one. But, yeah. So what I was saying is that...
this is your fate.
If in his hollow form, this character, he's colored differently than the normal characters. He looks like a charred corpse or something. He's all blue. He's like all black and blue because instead of the normal reddish color, because of the color I chose for him. So take note that this guy is standing on the roof and he just dropped a body down. It's kind of like a cool connection later on. You can see, like, you'll see him again. So you can see I'm really blue. If you ever seen the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, if you want to go by the name, Violet Beauregard turns this color blue. So, yeah. So, Dark Souls. So, you know, I know Dark Souls has been out for a long time now, and the DLC just came out recently, and it'll be a while before we get to it in this playthrough. I've already played through it like a ton of times, but we're gonna you know, get to it eventually. But Dark Souls is pretty old at this point. Well, not old, but you know, it's like more than a year old, and it's so you're probably thinking, why am I doing videos on this? It's not new. It's not, you know, I can look on YouTube for plenty of Dark Souls videos if I want to see something awesome. And there's lots of awesome stuff. Don't get me wrong there, because I'm probably not gonna be showing anything spectacular in the playthrough, just like a normal kind of, this is what I'm doing and how I'm playing kind of thing. But, you know, the reason I wanted to make some Dark Souls videos is that there is a really great community based around this game, and I think, like, I'm enjoying it, and I just kind of want to add a little something to it, even if it's nothing incredibly special. I want to say that I at least added a little bit, and you know, that's pretty much it. So, you know, so I'm talking while playing, so, you know, if you've ever played Dark Souls, you'll know that's not the greatest of combinations, but you'll also find that, you know, I'll probably be playing suckier than I normally do, which isn't even normally that spectacular. But, Yeah. So I'm playing some Dark Souls here. But let me talk about how I got into playing Dark Souls. I didn't actually buy this game at launch or even remotely afterwards. Actually, it was sent to me by a friend who it got kind of passed around between a couple of people, and nobody could get into it. And like by get into it, I mean nobody could play more than a couple hours and get anywhere. Which is, you know, kind of what Dark Souls is known for, being difficult to play, I guess. And it's not that the game is difficult, it's just that, you know, the basics are the kind of thing, like, once you get down, you can kind of blow through a lot of stuff. Once you figure out, like, how armor works and how weapons work, and how upgrading stuff works, and all of that. Once you figure all that out, the game gets much easier to play. Okay, so here's that part I was alluding to earlier. So this is the guy that was dropped the thing down from the roof. How did he get down here? There was no door into the room. Through the ceiling. A hole in the ceiling. So we'll continue that theme later on. But, I'll talk to him, I guess.
Oh, you.
So you recognize
You're no hollow. Hmm? Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead.
So this
Hear
is
me out.
very interesting in that, like, he's saying, I'll die soon, and then I'll lose my sanity, which is
But perhaps
an interesting,
you can keep
you
the
know,
torch lit.
you think about it
There's an
logically,
old saying in my family.
if you've never played this
Thou
before,
who art
and you
undead
don't
art
really
chosen.
understand, like,
Thine exodus from the
what's going
Undead
on.
Asylum.
It's pretty, it's like a reverse. It seems like a logical contradiction. He's gonna die and then he's gonna go crazy. Well, yeah,
Well, now you
that's how it
know.
works in this game, though. He's undead.
And I
He
can
can't
die with
die.
hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this.
Thanks, bro.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death.
Okay.
And thank...
So, alright. We'll come back to him later. But, yeah. So, anyway, I'll continue why I got into Dark Souls. And, so, you know, like, I got this game, my friend sent me this game, and, you know, when I got it, they were sure I would be the only person that, out of all the people who got it, that would actually play through it, because, you know, I have no life. I'll admit it. I just I don't go out that much. I don't drink or go to bars or anything. And I have a lot of friends and stuff. And you know, I don't just stay home all the time. But you know, generally, if I have free time, I just stay at home and play games. Or you know, I'm not like a huge party guy. Kind of sometimes. But, you know, so, you know, I don't have a wife or anything, so I'm pretty good with, spending a lot of time playing games if I want to. And this game was one of those games that definitely made me want to play games. But that's not exactly how I really got into it. And I'll say that, like, I played the game for 2 or 3 hours or so. Just, you know, I didn't use a guide. For my first playthrough of most games, I don't usually like look up anything or use guides. So, especially for RPGs, in that like it's much more fun for me to try to figure out what's going on than to just look it up. So, you know, I'm playing through Dark Souls and I'm just wandering around aimlessly. I had no idea where I'm going or what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of wandering. And that's like kind of how it works. Like, I just wandered around for a couple hours, and it wasn't really. I probably should have equipped my magic here. Let's see if I can do it without dying. equip my wand, which is going to be probably a bad idea, but alright. I'm going to equip my wand while not dying, hopefully. Alright. Imminent death avoided. So, as I was saying, I played through the game for a couple hours, just doing my thing, and I wasn't really understanding what I was supposed to be doing. Like, obviously, there's not much, like, direction when you first start. You kind of have, like, of course, like, everybody in the beginning of the game tells you, like, go ring the bells, because, you know, the first guy that just died, Oscar of Astora, I believe, is, he tells you to ring the bells, and when you get to the Firelink Shrine, the guy that's sitting there, I don't know his name, crestfallen dude, tells you to go ring the bells. So that's pretty much what you do. So, you know, that's but you don't know where they are, and you don't know how to get there, so you're just kind of wandering around. And the game does kind of funnel you into a certain direction, so the ringing the first bell is, you know, pretty straightforward if you just kind of follow the path set out for you. But, you know, after that, you know, you're kind of at a loss. You don't really know where to go without, like, looking at your items. And if you don't pick up some stuff, you don't know where to go at all. Which is another good part of this game, I think.
One day an undead legends. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage.
We'll watch this and then I'll continue.
To the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
I have a hard time saying Lordran, not because it's hard to say, but because the Japanese is clearly Lordaeron, and I like the sound of that better for some reason. So here we are at Firelink. But anyway, when I'm first playing this, I'm running around and I don't know what's going on. I didn't know how the weapons worked, and I didn't know how, like, upgrading worked, and I know that I could level up. It tells me. But I didn't know exactly, like, how the stats affected the weapons, and, you know, how like, you know, armor worked, and how, you know, this rolling speeds and stuff. I didn't really understand any of that, but what happened was, you know, I'm just kind of wandering around, and I'd, like, regain my humanity, you know, because I don't know, just that's how I'm playing. And I'm wandering around, and actually, like, I'm going in to fight the butterfly, the moonlight butterfly, and I got invaded in there, but I didn't really know, like, what that entailed. So I'm just, like, kind of hanging out, and I'm, like, standing in front of the door for the moonlight butterfly, and I'm, like, in the menus, adjusting my weapons, and, like, getting ready for a boss battle, and suddenly, like, somebody is killing me. So, like, I actually got killed by an invader, like, while I'm in the menus. Like, I wasn't even, like, there was no fight back from me. I didn't even see who killed me because, you know, I was in the menus adjusting weapons and stuff. And, like, what happened was, that person, the invader, afterwards sent me a message saying, like, oh, you were my first online kill, sorry, bro. And, like, you know, generally, when you get messages in a multiplayer game on Xbox Live, you're just expecting something like, suck it, noob, or something, you know, like, something salty. or something like derogatory. That's like that's my experience from playing fighting games, at least. And you know, I got that message, and it didn't seem like especially offensive or like mocking me or anything. And I just sent the guy back a message like, "Hey, this is my first day playing the game. Like, and I was in the menus, and you killed me. I don't know how that works. How does this work?" And that guy actually sent me a chat request, and you know, random guy in Xbox Live sends me a chat request. Generally, I would refuse that, but you know, again, I accepted and started talking to this random dude about the game, and he was just explaining to me the very basics of how things worked. And like, you know, I didn't read anything about the game before playing, so I didn't understand how like class ratings on a certain you know, like a B rank in strength means like it scales better with strength for some weapons. I didn't really understand that, and I didn't know anything about poise and like shield strength and any of that stuff. So like, he's explaining all this stuff to me and explaining to me like, oh, well, I fell. That wasn't cool. Wasn't paying attention there. Okay, so he's explaining to me about like how it works, and I had already been upgrading my character a bunch, but like totally wrong, because I thought like I was playing as a pyromancer, and I thought like, oh, pyromancy is pretty cool. I'll just upgrade intelligence so I can make my magic stronger. You know, so I'm like upgrading my magic power, like almost exclusively in the beginning. I was only upgrading magic. And I'm like using pyromancy, and I didn't understand. I didn't like realize that, you know, upgrading intelligence did nothing with my pyromancy. So like I wasted a ton of points in being intelligence. And you know, it's just the kind of thing, like you make those kinds of mistakes when you play the game the first time and you don't like look up how to do stuff. But again, that's another part of the game that I think is really good, in that, like, you know, that kind of thing can happen. I mean, it's not obviously it's not a good thing that my character was kind of gimped and I had to like way level up past what I should have been to win in the end, like on my first playthrough. But the you know, by you know, getting the explanation about like how leveling up worked and how that stuff worked, like I started to think about it myself in terms of the game, like how does this work, how does that work, and suddenly like the whole game clicked together for me. Like I got a really good sense of how do I play this, how do I get things going, how do I keep like the game, you know, interesting, and how do I keep myself like powerful enough to actually beat people. And like this is, you know, I'm saying that from the point of view of my first playthrough, because like now I can like, you know, now like I had a character where I was like level 8 or something, and like fighting Ornstein and Smo, or Ornstein, sorry, Ornstein and Smo. But so I'm fighting, you know, so now I'm like a bit better at the game, but you know, that first playthrough, it was rough because like, you know, a lot of this game's difficulty comes from learning how to play it. And like, you know, you play through it for the first time, and I'll tell you, for my first playthrough, it took 100 hours, like easily. And that's like, you know, it includes a lot of dying, of course, but like it also includes me just like, you know, because I didn't use a walkthrough, just randomly walking around, backtracking, searching places for items, and like just acquainting myself with the world. And by doing that, just fell in love with the game. You know, you read the item descriptions, you find out things that are interesting and you want to know more. You travel around the places that are kind of off the beaten path, and you find interesting things and you want to learn more. And I find that, like, you know, one of my, as I've mentioned in a previous video, one of my favorite games of all time is Fallout. And since the original Fallout, I've been a huge Fallout fan, but you know, games like Fallout, like, it has a very similar setup to how Dark Souls works, in that, like, you can make many different types of characters. You make a character the way you want to play it, and you just kind of wander around. You have no solid direction of, like, how you want to do things. You can kind of go anywhere and do anything, and it just makes the game a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of my fun with Dark Souls comes from that, like, I can make a character based on how I want to play through. If I want to play through as, like, a kind of, like, thief who is very dexterous, I can do that. If I want to play through as a magic user like I am this time, I can do that. If I want to play through as a pyromancer or a strength build, I can do that. And it, you know, it fundamentally changes the way I have to play the game, but I can still beat the game in all of those different ways, which is the hallmark of something spectacular. And not many games do it, or do it well, and, you know, Fallout is one of those games that does it well, but Dark Souls is another game that does it spectacularly. And it just makes the game great. Like, I can't really say much more about that. It's just... damn it. That was my parry fail. Sorry, dudes. I'm not a parry master. For some reason, I was, like, much better at parries in Demon Souls than I am in Dark Souls, and I don't even know why. As far as I know, like, people seem to say Demon Souls was harder to parry, and I think, like, the way I'm timing it is better with the Demon Souls system than it is with the Dark Souls system. I don't really know, but that's my guess, because I usually parry much better in that game. But here, I'm like always scared to parry because I fail so much. But yeah. Anyway, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go get my favorite starter weapon. And I guess because I've just been rambling and we made a character and stuff, I don't want this video to be too long because it's just the first one. So we're gonna get my starter weapon, and then we'll end this first in the series, and then we'll continue after that. But yeah. So let's backstab. Yeah. So what was I saying? About how this game is awesome. So the reason, you know, after you kind of figure out the fundamentals of how to play, this game becomes amazing because once you understand the concept, you can really, really, you know, start customizing yourself and customize how you play the game to how you actually want to play. In my first playthrough, I had no idea. I just kind of found stuff that I thought, like, I could use, and I used it. And it made my character, like, all over the place. So, like, I was using magic and pyromancy and was trying to do strength. I tried to, like, evenly upgrade everything, which, you know, led to problems, obviously. But, you know, now that I understand, like, I obviously will focus on things. But here, we're gonna get the weapon I want. And, you know, people... Maybe people aren't gonna like this. But,
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Alright, so... I like how pretty much all the merchants in Demons and Dark Souls are just crazy. They're just, like, all insane. We're gonna get a few things here that are... actually, we're only gonna get one thing here. And my favorite starting weapon for this game is the Reinforced Club. I don't think anybody likes it, but actually in my first playthrough I used the Reinforced Club for nearly the entire game. I just really like it. So I like the R2 as a jump, so I just like that. Currently I'm not actually strong enough to use it, one-handed anyway, but that doesn't matter. But also, what people aren't going to like here is that even though I'm going to use this club, I'm totally killing this dude. I always kill this guy.
Have you?
And the reason I kill him is, you know, I usually don't ever buy anything from him, and I want that key right away. The key to unlock the area, the houses below. The residence key, I believe it's called. And, you know, I want that right away, and I don't want to pay for it. I'm just sorry. You know, I just think of that Jane's Addiction song, Been Caught Stealing, you know, because when I want something and I don't want to pay for it. In Dark Souls, when you want something and you don't want to pay for it, you don't steal it, you just smack a bitch up. That's how it works. But anyway, I got this weapon and I'm gonna level up a bit. So I'm gonna level up a bit so I can use it until I can, you know, get the actual weapon I want to use for the playthrough. But this will be my initial weapon. So we are gonna upgrade I think strength, dexterity, both 12 for now. That's okay. Okay, so I guess this will be the end of the first part of this playthrough. So the video is about a half an hour, so expect the rest of them to be about this length. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna try not to make them too long, but you know, I also want to try not to make too many of them. But you know, if you guys are really into this or you want to see more of these, I'll put them up pretty often, daily maybe, or every couple of days I'll put a new one up. But yeah, for now we've got Prospero here, and he's gonna be my wizard. Sorcerer, sorry. So, yeah, this was the end of the first parts of my Demon's Souls playthrough, so, yeah. See you guys next time.